So let me show you one that I think, I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I've read the Bible through, I don't know how many times. I've been reading the Bible as long as I've been reading. That was kind of the thing when I was a kid. That's how you practice reading. You read the Bible, and we read a lot of it. So there's nothing in it I haven't read. That doesn't mean that I've comprehended all of it or that I remember all of it. So every now and then, I still come across one and I go, how'd that get in there? I had never seen that before. And I did that with this verse. And it really helped to open up some things for me in regards to the voice of Jesus. It's Revelation 19:10. Now, out of the gate, the first half of it is something I've heard many, many times and didn't think a whole lot of. We're going to read it anyway, but it's that last sentence. I fell at his feet to worship him, but he said to me, see that you do not do that. I'm your fellow servant, your brethren who have the testimony of Jesus. Worship God. And then this sentence, for the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. Now, I want you to think about that sentence. I had never really let that soak in. The revelation, the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. Remember our faithful witness? We have a faithful witness in chapter 1. We have a shepherd in chapter 7. What does shepherds do? They talk to their sheep. What does a faithful witness do? He talks. What's the Word made flesh do? He talks. That's a testimony, man. Okay? So, Revelation 19, the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. Whatever prophecy, whatever comes out of our mouth as prophecy, that's the testimony of Jesus. That's what Jesus sounds like. Okay? If it doesn't sound like Jesus, it's not the spirit of prophecy. I don't care who said, thus saith the Lord, before they said it. I don't care how many tongues were spoken before they interpreted it. I don't care how many platforms they screamed it from. If it doesn't sound like the testimony of Jesus, it's not the spirit of prophecy. It can't be directly from the Father and then contradict the very life and attitude and heartbeat of the Lord Jesus. So what is that spirit of prophecy? Remember this from 1 Corinthians 14:3. He who prophesies speaks edification, exhortation, and comfort. Now I want you to just leave that in your consciousness for a little bit. I want you to think about the fact that the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. What is prophecy? It edifies, it exhorts, and it comforts. Which tells me this: the testimony of Jesus builds people up, it gives them strength and hope, and it brings comfort to their soul. Those are the words of Jesus. If it's not edifying, exhorting, or comforting, it's not prophecy. If it's not edifying, exhorting, or comforting, it's not the testimony of Jesus. Because the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. So prophecy has to say what Jesus would say. That doesn't mean Jesus never said anything hard to swallow. It doesn't mean some of his stuff isn't tough to take. Because you can edify, exhort, and comfort someone with a truth that's difficult to swallow. But you cannot edify, exhort, and comfort someone while punching them in the nose. It just can't be done. And so a God that's on the warpath, that's on the attack, that's always about to pay people back, that's not the spirit of prophecy. Thus, it's not the testimony of Jesus. And we need to slap some tape over that mouth. That's not our Lamb talking. The sword coming out of his mouth is not it cannot be replaced with the sword in the hand. You can't say, well, he says things and that kills people. His words knock people over. It's not a violence that the Lamb is speaking. It's an exhortation, it's a comfort, it's a building up, it's an edification that builds up our soul. So there's a bit of a wasteland. I mean, I'll admit, I go looking sometimes for hope and the sound. I want to be moved and blessed when I listen to preaching, television, radio, wherever, internet. I want it to calm my soul, but probably like a lot of you, I found it's very difficult to find that which edifies, exhorts, and comforts. It's very difficult to find the testimony of Jesus being proclaimed, and therefore it's sometimes safer to just shut it off, not listen at all, because if I'm a follower of Jesus and I'm going to hear about Jesus, then I want to hear what Jesus would say. And in hearing what Jesus would say, I'm going to be exhorted, I'm going to be edified, and I'm going to be comforted.